Some random thoughts, and so I think a lot of questions can be answered by this question: is there curiosity? Right? So, this is a post about relationships. Okay, so let's first talk about work relationships. How do you know that a staff member has genuine interest in you? Now, we oftentimes ask ourselves a more deep question: do they care about me? Because that's a basic question. And if we don't feel people care about us, we don't care what they know, right? Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Okay. But that's kind of a tall order. You can't really care about somebody unless you know something about them, because you need context. You need to be able to appreciate them. You need to be able to make a connection with that person. So, if somebody asks you questions at all, they're at all curious, that means that they're already interested. And so, if you're a mature adult listening to this, you're in my stage of life, 50s. Really, it's about you showing curiosity. When you're younger, it's about, like, yeah, you're trying to fix the world, but really, but you're not fixing yourself, right? You're working on yourself, but you really believe that the problem is out there. The older you get, you realize the problem's with me. I'm the problem, right? It's a hard pill to swallow, but gradually life shows you this. So all that to say that you should show others curiosity, okay? For you younger people, I don't know what to tell you, because you've externalized things a lot of times. Some of you have. A large portion of you have externalized all the problems, like, I don't like that person, I don't like that. And millennials and those coming after the millennials, I forgot what's the name of that generation, get a lot of grief and flack for this, right? They have a reputation for being snowflakes. I'm not here to say that's true. I'm not here to say it's not true. I'm here to say that I can't really give this advice. It doesn't really land so easily on younger ears, because they don't want to work on themselves. They do, but to get better in terms of their skills, their marketability, their resume, their curriculum vitae, all of those things. But as far as the internal, being reflective, that if I'm just having problems with people, and there's a lot of problem people around me, the problem's probably me, right? If what I see out there is positivity, and as I smile, the world smiles back at me, then I know that I'm putting out that energy, so it's coming back to me. So it's always about what's inside us. So let's now talk about personal relationships. If you have been going out with somebody, dating, whatever you want to call it, maybe it's just a friendship where you're trying to reconnect. And they ask a lot of questions. It means that they're curious. They're curious, they become interested. If they become interested and their curiosity is satisfied, sorry, I'm putting shoes on, then they are going to begin to care. And because if there's enough questions that they ask you and you answer, you're forming points of connection, right? And so that's what a healthy relationship is. You also, now let's talk to business people that are marketing their business. If you are trying to improve your marketing, you're trying to improve your sales, you need to be curious about how your sales are going. You need to be curious about what are the ways that I can use a sales process, a development, an evolution of a process. And maybe that process involves building trust, maybe it involves rapport building, maybe it involves uncovering the problem, maybe it involves finding out what the cost of inaction is, maybe it involves asking the what if this doesn't improve questions, right? To increase the awareness of the problem with the person you're talking to. And then you present your program, right? And then asking deeper questions, right? So this is a stage, it's a process. So if you are thinking that the problem is out there, it's with those darn people that won't listen to my message, again, I say to you, you need to look within and also look at what you are doing, interacting with other people, so that you can compare your process to the process to see if you even have a process. Have I built rapport? Have I earned the right to ask hard questions? Have I established call control? All those things I'm mentioning now are actually high dollar sales secrets that I've paid good money for. So again, what is this whole video about right now? It's about curiosity. So get curious about how you are doing with the sales process, how you are doing with your coworkers, how you are doing with your personal relationships. And above all, remember that if somebody's not curious about you, don't try to fix them. Find somebody else. Stop dating that person. That person has no interest in you. They're probably using you. But a person that wants to know, so how did you lose weight? What did you do to look so great? Or, how did that hit you when such and such happened, right? What are you doing about it, right? It's the attitude of wanting to know more that I think is important. And unfortunately, some people in this day and age, because it's an age of scammers, it's an age of creepers, they don't want to share who they are. So they paint a facade. They have a mask that they wear because everybody else is wearing a mask. And they wonder why they're not connecting on a deep level. And it's because you have to learn to be curious with yourself first. Why do I wear this mask? Start with yourself and then move to other people. Be curious about them. One last huge secret here is the person who puts more energy into getting interested with other people will always have friends. You can gain more friends by becoming interested in other people than trying to get people interested in you. You'll always be able to find friends that way because people will feel a connection to you. So get the idea that somebody's asking questions, oh, they're interrogating me and stuff like that. Okay, crawl back into your hole. Put a bumper sticker on the wall that says stranger danger. And then run for the hills because you will never have a deep relationship. You'll never have friends. So try this with people you can trust. Try this with your dog. Try this with your cat. Practice so you can feel comfortable, and then try it in safe ways to ask that curiosity and allow other people to be curious about your life. And by all means, if you don't feel comfortable answering a question, just say, I don't feel comfortable sharing that, right? But understand, if that person's being genuinely curious, you have an opportunity to create that connection if you're looking for that.